A rule: never travel after sunset. But rules meant nothing to Arman, a wildlife photographer chasing the perfect night shot for his upcoming documentary. At 7:43 p.m., he crossed the rusted warning sign. Do not enter after dark. The hills feed. Arman laughed. Local superstition, he whispered, tightening his jacket as the temperature dropped. But the truth was waiting, breathing, behind the hills. The deeper he drove, the quieter everything became. No wind, no insects, no movement, just a massive silence hanging over the hills like a shroud. He parked near an abandoned stone hut, grabbed his camera, and pointed it toward the ridge. The sky was a thick black void, perfect for capturing the stars. He clicked the shutter. A long, distant, inhuman scream ripped across the valley. Not an animal, not human, something in between. Arman's breath froze. What was that? And then he saw it. Up on the ridge, four glowing shapes, standing absolutely still. They weren't animals. They weren't people. Their limbs were too long, their heads tilted too far, and their bodies seemed to twitch with a sick, hungry movement. Arman stepped back. The camera in his hand flashed its red recording light. The shapes turned, all four, toward him. Arman ran into the stone hut. Inside, the air smelled of rust, and something rotten. He locked the door, heart pounding. The walls were covered with scratch marks. Dozens. No, hundreds. Some were words. Hunger. Run. They feast at night. And beneath them, smeared in dried dark stains. Do not let them hear your heartbeat. Arman pressed a trembling hand over his chest. Outside, footsteps crunched in the gravel. Slow. Dragging. Wet. Something exhaled at the door. Long, sniffing breaths. As though smelling through the cracks. Arman held his breath. A clawed hand scraped across the wood. Once. Twice. Then something whispered in a voice like broken bone. Open the door. Arman gagged. He stumbled backward, knocking over an old lantern. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then the whispering came from the window instead. We see you. Suddenly, the door burst open. A man rushed in, dirty, exhausted, carrying a hunting rifle. Keep quiet, he hissed. They heard you. Now they're coming. Arman stared. What are they? The man swallowed hard. They're not ghosts. Not animals. They're what's left of the miners from the 1943 collapse. Buried alive for days. When rescue came, the men were alive. But wrong. Arman shook his head. Wrong how? The man looked at the door. They survived by eating the bodies of the dead miners. That hunger never left them. Their bones adapted. Their senses sharpened. And now the hills feed them every night. Outside, the dragging footsteps returned. Closer. Heavier. More than one. They smell fear, the man whispered. They hunt sound. But heartbeat. He touched Arman's chest. That drives them wild. The wall cracked as a claw stabbed through the stone. The man shoved Arman toward a narrow opening in the hut's back wall. Run when I say. Not before. Outside, dozens of pale shapes gathered. Eyes glowing. Jaws distending. Bones bending in impossible ways. Arman nearly screamed. The man raised his rifle. Run. Arman crawled through the crack and sprinted downhill. Behind him. Boom. A gunshot shattered the night. Then the screams began. Not the man's. The creature's. The sound was furious. Feral. Like a mob of starved wolves fighting over fresh meat. Arman didn't look back. He ran until his lungs burned, tripping over rocks, sliding down slopes, branches slicing his arms. But at the valley floor, the nightmare worsened. The hills were moving. Hundreds of pale shapes pouring down like an avalanche. Hunting him. Feasting hour had begun. Arman reached his jeep. He fumbled with the keys. Dropped them. Cursed. Snatched them again. The creatures were seconds away. He jumped inside, slammed the door, started the engine. A hand smashed against the window. A face, white, eyeless, its jaw dangling loose, pressed against the glass. Arman froze. His camera, hanging around his neck, snapped a picture automatically. Flash. The creatures screamed. Not in pain. In hunger. More of them leapt onto the vehicle. Arman floored the accelerator. The jeep shot forward, but the creatures were faster. They scrambled across the hood, tearing at the metal, ripping at the windshield. Arman screamed. Another flash from his camera, triggered by the motion. In that flash of light, he saw their true faces. Sewn skin. Broken teeth. Mouths dripping with frozen blood. The last thing Arman captured was one of them opening its mouth wide enough to swallow his entire head. The jeep flipped. His camera rolled into the snow. Recording. In the morning, the villagers found the wrecked jeep. No body. No blood. Just Arman's camera buried in the snow. The final photo showed dozens of pale, deformed creatures crawling over his jeep. And one staring directly into the lens. As if it knew someone would find it. The villagers buried the camera deep underground. But every winter, when the winds scream across Kaladar Hills, people say they still hear the clicking of a camera shutter. And sometimes, if the night is cold enough, you can see pale figures standing on the ridge, waiting for the next traveler. Because the hills feast at night, and they're always hungry.